Okay, I guess I'll talk. I mean, I think Katie's a little nervous.
This is your show. I'm in an off week here.
It's me and Katie today. We're excited to have the YBC Nationals. I know it was about a month and a half ago, but with how everything's been going, today was the best day for us to bring them on. So we're super excited about it. Super excited that Katie's coming on. Brought her up from the minors for the big leagues today. Again,
Okay.
Almost like a relief pitcher. It's going to be perfect. So happy to have
what he fails to tell people is, can you run the backside of the show and press the buttons, Katie, so that I don't mess it up?
Yeah. And honestly, probably the kids probably enjoy having you on more than me. So I mean, it's kind of a win-win, right? So
I did have one person ask me if I could be on this particular podcast.
Okay, well, let's see, who was it? Was it Michaela?
I can't reveal any names.
I mean, that's real tough. So, we're excited. We have a big show today. I know Katie's excited about it, but we have 7 gold medalists coming on, teams and singles, and some of them haven't been on before. So, it'd be kind of neat to kind of maybe talk to them about their wins.
Yeah, it'll be kind of cool too, because they've had a little bit of time to come down from the tournament, process and reflect a little bit on it. And sometimes that just brings a whole different train of thought on how the event went than the initial, as soon as it happens, kind of reaction too. So
yeah, exactly. Sorry, I think there's something on my forehead, but it's just my screen. There we go. Or is
it's a wrinkle? It's like a deep crevice wrinkle.
I don't know what that is. Oh my!
It's called Botox, Timmy.
There we go. I'm just gonna put my hat up like that. We don't have to worry. So obviously we have the 2025 Masters Nationals are going down in BC. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been able to fully engage into it, all of it. We've been busy at work and whatnot. But it looks like, I know for our end, the Alberta tournament teams are doing well. The men are doing very well. They're up by like 17, I heard, speaking through Dex. Mm-hmm. And the ladies, I hear, are up too.
The ladies, they have a couple more games to play today, but they are sitting in first right now with a little bit to go. Our teaching men are sitting in fourth, I believe, and the teaching women are having a little bit of a struggle this tournament. But
and the seniors as well, right there. I think they're kind of right in the mix there, right?
Yeah, seniors teams. I have it all pulled up here. Seniors are in second. 3.5 points out of first right now. So
I believe the seniors and the teaching really just depends on how everything goes that weekend. Everybody's kind of on even playing field.
Yeah.
Sometimes we see super negative scores win, and sometimes we see super positive scores win, right? So
100%. Like even looking, you have a minus 127 and you only take 1 point, but a few games later you have a minus 104 and take 7. So it just kind of who you come up against at that particular time. But
I mean, how crazy was it today? I heard there were some issues with things out of their control for everybody. Let's put it that way. It was nobody's fault by any means, but I heard the tournament ladies were supposed to be playing in Abbotsford, and there was supposed to be some work done. Not anything they could have done by that any means on their end, the center, and they had no water. So if you know anything as a business, when you have no water, you're actually not allowed to be open. So they had not anything against Abbotsford. They can't control that. That was a city thing. Construction thing, and so everybody got kind of flipped around. I think the ladies ended up at
Scottsdale, and then the singles were going to play, but they were going to put 4 to a lane, and so they kind of said, no, we don't want that. So they opted to skip the provincial night tonight and play after the teams were done at Scottsdale, or one half of the teams were done at Scottsdale. I think I can't remember who else was there this morning, but so singles are playing now. This is a little bit behind schedule of what they originally were planning on doing, but singles are playing right now. Teams, they've had to pivot. They had to do quite a bit of pivoting. And for anybody who knows the setup that's happening in BC right now, pivoting amongst those bowling alleys is not necessarily simple. It's like an hour between each set of bowling lanes, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I know the traffic is terrible, right? So
Yeah.
Scottsdale, I don't know the whole logistics, but I was thinking Scottsdale is in the middle, I would think, and then you
I
have
think maybe,
on the far on the one side, and then you have the other side. You'll have Grandview's all the way, in Vancouver. So there's a lot of avenues. Thankfully, you didn't have to go Abbotsford to Grandview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of moving parts, but
Yeah, it's something we've all been part of a national board in the past, and we've been part of these things. It kind of just happens, right? So,
yeah. But it sounds like they came up with a plan and they executed the plan, and bowling still happened and carried on. So that's always a good thing. If you've been checking in, 5-Pin Universe is live streaming at all 4 centers this weekend. So all of those streams, like just so many moving pieces to a nationals where it's so spread out, but trying to get as much exposure out there as possible. And it looks like it's been going well. The feeds have looked good. So
yeah. I mean, and Carrie's out there. Obviously, that's another reason why Katie got brought up. But here nor there.
The last resort pick. That's what it's sounding like here.
What center? I don't know. Is he at Scottsdale?
He's at Scottsdale. Yeah, home base is at Scottsdale, and then they have everything being virtual machined and doing all the things to get everything going. So he's monitoring all 4 centers from there and making sure everything's running smoothly. I know they brought cameras over from Galaxy today when they weren't able to play there. They brought the camera over to Scottsdale to set up a second feed at Scottsdale. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just
lots of moving
it's just
things.
a little bit crazy. But here nor there, I mean, Masters is one of the biggest events of the year. It has all different demographics and that. So let's see what it is. They finish up on Friday, correct? I think.
Yes, I think the step ladder for singles and the final team games are on Friday. Then they'll have their banquet Friday night because everybody's flying home on Saturday. So yeah, it sucks not being there.
I'm okay.
Yeah, you're okay. But like I was on that team last year that won, and then to be sitting at home because they moved nationals up a week. And so I just physically could not take the last week of school off to go to a bowling tournament. I think my principal would have my head.
Yeah.
So just having to sit back and watch, I'm like, yeah.
There's a
you always want to go to defend, right? You always want to be there to have an opportunity to try again. So
no, for sure. I get that. I just think that you have a lot of other opportunities throughout the time.
Yeah.
BC is definitely a good location to go to. And it'd be obviously be nice to have a chance for another double gold, right? So if you were able to make that team, so lucky to do that, right? So
100%.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different. You can see the different it's a different crew somewhat across the board than maybe the Open is. You get to see a little bit more of a different selection. Obviously, BC's a little bit different. Saskatchewan's a little bit different. Yeah. There's a little bit different. Some people play it, some people play the other one. So it works out well.
Yeah, I think now, with the way the schedules are between the cash events and the Open and Masters and everything else that's on the go, people have to make choices, and not everybody is going to be in a position with work or with time or financially to be able to play all of the events, right? So I think in some of the provinces, especially ones that they have to pay their own way, you see people picking and choosing between the Open or Masters, which is why we get different players playing them, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, one of the big things we got going on our side is obviously we're very well funded and we're very fortunate that way. So if we are wanting to double dip and do both, we can, but not many provinces are able to. And I think logistics, for example, like in Northern Ontario is such a big province, and same as BC, right? For these people coming in from the north playing in the Lower Mainland, 2 or 3 times a year, that's an added expense that they maybe can't afford, right? So
for sure, it's not the same as us just going to Calgary for a weekend. Like, it's just not.
No, and we're not Ryan O'Callahan that needs to drive all those hours and be that way, right? So, but if you ever have an opportunity to play the Masters, I highly recommend it. It's a great thing. Obviously, I think there's a lot of great value into it. And if you're a casual player, POA bowler, and you want to be competitive senior, that's another great avenue. It's another event that you guys can definitely enjoy with that. So I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but let's see if we can get our first guest on here. I know they're waiting in the background, so it's fingers crossed everything works out really well here. But our first guest right now is from the Ontario team, the junior girls champions, Lauren and Alyssa and Coach Dave. All right.
We're almost in.
Yeah, we hear them. Okay, do you guys have a button that we can click on there? It says maybe at the bottom it says
start.
Oh, there you go. Oh. This is beside the camera, beside your audio.
Yeah.
Can't see.
All right, girls, you're up. Figure it out.
All right. Send in the experts. Here we go.
You see the camera button, but it's just says either stop cam or start cam. So it's either one we push, it doesn't do anything.
Oh. Let me see here.
Maybe Katie can help you.
I'm working on it. Tech over here, but
yes, please.
All right. Well, anyways, we can probably start talking while maybe Katie gets involved in this a little bit and helps out. I'm not a tech person by any means. But that being said, let's maybe discuss you girls and your great feat. We had almost a few months ago. Maybe touch base on your provincial win. I haven't seen the results, unfortunately. I don't have that in front of me. But how did your provincials go in order for you guys to make the nationals?
Well, we think we did pretty good in the provincial round because what did we score? We scored I
can't remember the exact scores and how they did exactly, but they had full control pretty much the whole tournament, the whole round. To be honest with you, I remember I think it was their third game, if I'm not mistaken. They had a tough game there, and I think it was a high 300 double or something like that. And I was like, oh no, we gotta be careful here. And we actually didn't lose much ground at all. So at that point, I knew that we were pretty good. So pretty strong team. These girls are fantastic. They pulled it back together after that, and they finished with quite the lead. So it went pretty well overall.
For sure. And so, Dave, I guess we can maybe touch base on the provincial. Is it based off of scratch, or is there a pins over a match play format to it?
No, our provincials is all scratch. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And then obviously, as we went on to the national level, I know I've been looking at your stats here once again. You guys kind of dominated. You guys won 18-3. You only lost 3 matches. You guys had 40 pins on average higher than anybody else. Your next highest competitor, and after that was probably close to 60. How was playing the national a match play different for you guys than playing maybe the provincial, where it was just straight pin?
Well, we've played match play in other tournaments before, and we enjoyed that one and how we played it in the other tournaments. But compared to the provincial, it was different because we had to work for our points and then the total as well, instead of just the total. So it was a bit different in the provincial, but we enjoyed it either way, and we both had a lot of fun. So yeah.
Right. I mean, if you had a bad game, it might not be that bad because you can still get your point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it works a little bit differently that way. Have any of you guys been to nationals before?
It was my first nationals for this. But
I've been to Youth Challenge Nationals.
Right.
So that's just more people on a team, and also like a sub off, like an extra player and everything. So, but yeah. First time doubles nationals or singles. Like we've never bowled singles. Yeah.
Right. So I remember you playing the youth challenge, and that was not the virtual year, right? If I remember correctly. So yes, I remember that you playing that. So I guess there's a huge difference between a sub and 5 players and playing with just the 2 of you, right? I mean, the energy level is a lot different. You two have to kind of, I guess, work together more than maybe a team does because you two, right? Energy comes only from you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to grind things out because you don't have the option of being pulled if you're struggling. You just have to try to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, Dave, I can probably ask you this. Dave, I was telling Katie earlier, obviously I know that you're a well-recognized bowler out in Ontario. Obviously, Eric Milne is also Lauren's dad, another well-known bowler out in Ontario. Yeah. Was this more satisfying seeing them win than maybe some of your own feats?
Absolutely, without question. I think Eric can say the same thing, to be honest with you. We've talked about this many times, and yeah, our accomplishments and the things that we've done are spectacular and they're fantastic memories, there's no doubt. But seeing your kid do it and go and live some of the things that you've lived through and have some of those same experiences, there's no words for it. It's really touching. It's really warming. And yeah, it was definitely a much better experience. Yes.
Right. And as a coach, you're probably more nervous and probably have a little bit more anxiety than actually bowling because you can't control what's going on and you want the best for them, right?
Absolutely. It's I remember when I was competing as a kid, my parents used to always say we're there throwing every ball, and I used to always shrug it off. Yeah, you're not the one throwing it and all this kind of stuff, right? Yeah. But when you are the parent and you are watching, or the coach and you are watching, you literally throwing every ball. You're riding the emotional roller coaster with each bowler, and trying to keep them in the right frame of mind. A lot of work goes into being a coach. It was my first time coaching at the national level. I enjoyed every second of it. Again, these girls were absolutely fantastic. Lucky enough to know them their whole lives. So it makes things a lot easier that way. But yeah, it is definitely difficult to watch them bowl and go through the emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie sent you a message. Dave, I've seen this before. You might have a slide on your in front of your laptop, in front of them, and it has happened before in meetings. I've seen it before. There we go.
Oh, we can actually thank Stacy for that suggestion. She sent me a message being like, maybe this, maybe.
Yeah, something so simple. There we go. Okay,
so glad.
Yeah, that's a little bit better now.
Yeah, we go. See a name to the face. Absolutely. Carrie's in the background saying, here we go.
I know. I called in tech support. I'm like, okay, this is beyond my level of understanding of computers. So
it's always an easy thing. Always a favorite.
Yeah.
Amazing. So while you were in the event, was there any moment in time where you were kind of like, wow, we're off to a good start. Like it just kind of keeps going and feeling like really good about what could potentially come from it?
Well, throughout every round, like the zone round and then to the provincial round, we were bowling like pretty good for that and leading most of those rounds. So we felt pretty good going into nationals. And then the first day in nationals, I know I struggled a lot, but Lauren picked me up and was there and bowled well-needed games for it. And
I was going to say, you obviously played really well as a team because while you're saying that you struggled a little bit, you guys didn't lose the game on day one.
Yeah, exactly.
So like there was definitely some good give and take as a team to get you there. Yeah,
she really carried me throughout the first day, and I'm thankful for that and happy with that. And I knew for usually the first days or like the first game or so, I have to figure out like how I bowl at a certain lane and everything.
For sure.
And that's what I was doing. And I was confident that if we kept up our energy and like how we were feeding off of each other's energy, we could do what we needed to do to win. And
Yeah. You say that she carried you, but one thing to remember is that her scores alone would not have won, and that every point you put up there goes towards that team total point, right?
yeah.
But being just able to, even if you were struggling, carry a little bit of that energy piece too, and encouragement and keeping each other motivated is huge for a team event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess maybe talk a little about in the future. Obviously, you winning your guys' first golds together. What are some of your kind of your ambitions for moving forward for next season or next couple seasons?
I think that some of our new goals are, again, like maybe going to nationals together again, or even like for singles events, or even for like youth challenge events. I think we just like really enjoy the nationals experience, and we want to like pursue that and then try and get more medals.
Always the goal.
Yeah.
More medals, more hardware. Nice. How many years do you have left before you're in the adult ranks?
When does it start?
This was their last year in juniors, so they're in seniors next year. So is it 5 years? 5 years in seniors?
5 more years left.
Yeah.
A few more years before we have to worry about them.
Ways to go yet.
And you guys can hopefully, maybe play with dad's on an open team, right? That'd be kind of cool.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sure how many more years of actual bowling and competing I have left now. I've really taken on this coaching gig. I really enjoy it, to be honest with you. And I just don't have the time to commit to the game anymore to work on my own game. So I enjoy coaching now, and that's good. And I don't see these girls making mixed teams. So so we'll see. We'll never know. You never know what the future holds, though.
Right. And you guys would be playing out of Hamilton, correct? Is that the zone you would normally play out of if you guys had
for the Open? Yeah, at this moment, yeah, for the Open we do. We currently bowl in Brantford. Right. That my brother-in-law lists his uncle's bowling center, Echo Bowl. So that's out of Brantford. So that's where we're bowling the YBC at the moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure where they'll end up bowling the Open, if they'll be out of the Middlesex Elgin area or the Hamilton area. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right. Still a few years to figure that one
out.
And I mean, shout out to Echo. I fear they've done fantastic things. And over there, it's this new ownership, right? So within the last, and I heard nothing but good things out there. So
yeah, David's doing an absolutely amazing job there. He's really doing a good job. So yeah, he's growing the program. He's all for the kids. His leagues are doing well. His open bowling's doing well, and he's investing back into the business. So that's the best way you want from a proprietor and an owner, right? So he's gonna really work. Yeah,
and proof in the pudding when you guys have national medalists coming home, right? So
exactly.
I guess before we leave out here, do you have any shout outs or any thank yous you guys want to do? Any friends you met there you want to shout out or anything like that?
We want to thank the parents first of all for taking us and putting us into bowling when we were young and have been paying for our bowling and every practice. We want to thank them for making it happen and making it be able to happen. Coaches, all the coaches over the years that have held practices, that have given us any pointers or anything. Our coach that actually took us. The spectators, anyone that was watching on the lives or in person, the competitors for putting up good fights for a lot of games.
Absolutely.
And is there anyone else? Any volunteers?
A really special shout out to Dave, of course, because we would not be able to get here without him. He's done so much for us, and he's just great.
Thank you. Yeah. Just on my behalf, thanks to everybody that's involved in the nationals, the event that they put on, the national event there at Bonnie Doon, and all the volunteers and proprietors. I know it's a lot of work firsthand. I've been involved in a lot of the stuff, They put on an amazing event. They did extremely well. Can't thank them enough. I try to thank as many people as I could when I was there, but it was wonderful. And as well as you guys are doing an amazing job growing the game and doing whatever we can for 5-pin bowling. So thanks to everything that you guys are doing. So well done.
And also to anyone that donated.
Oh, donate. Yeah. Helped us out to get to nationals.
It takes a village to get there sometimes.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, ladies.
Congratulations.
And have a great summer. Enjoy your summer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
We'll see you next season.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Perfect. A really good group of ladies there, and Dave.
I'm glad we were able to get their camera going too, so we could see them.
Okay, so anybody else coming on? Anybody else coming on? There's a little thing to talk. Don't worry, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but usually it's older people that have that issue. So I guess maybe Dave is that guy. But wonderful to have them on and be able to see them. So thank you guys for coming on that aspect. So we're going to pop over to our next guest that we have coming on, all the way from Northern Ontario, our senior boys national champion, Johnny Powers.
Hello.
Hey, Johnny.
Hello. You're able to hear me well?
Yeah, you're perfect.
Hear you. Yeah.
All right, perfect. These earbuds work great.
How's it going out there?
It's going pretty well. I'm just at my bowling alley right now because I'm actually on the shift right now. So,
Bowling double duty.
Right? Yes. You're at Mario's, right? You work there with
yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Maybe touch base a little bit on your journey. I couldn't find anything for the Northern Ontario Provincials. I know it was held earlier in the year, right? In November.
Yeah, it was held like maybe 2 months into the year.
Right.
The provincial round was the earliest one out of all of us so far.
Right. And usually you run at the same time as you challenge, right? Kind of thing, back-to-back weekends or something like that.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I've been on the youth challenge a few times.
Yes.
But I don't remember seeing anyone else.
Okay.
But then again, my mind might just be a little bit hazy with that.
That's totally fair. So maybe tell our viewers out there, explain how you guys did at the provincial level, because we don't have the results, unfortunately.
So for the provincial round, it was all really close for the scores. It was maybe a 50-point difference for the top three. And it was all right down to the last frame. Not to toot my own horn, but if I didn't pull out a 4-bagger at the end there, I probably wouldn't have made it.
It's always a nice feeling though when you show up when you need to, right?
Yeah. I was 30 points behind going into the last frame, but I was on a strike, so definitely doing what I like to call, and my parents like to call, a power finish. Not because of my last name or anything, but
So maybe give us also a little bit of a background. How long have you played for? And obviously you've been at Mario's most likely your whole career, I'm guessing.
I've been at Mario's my entire career. I've been bowling since I was able to. 12, 13 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this was my last year.
Last year of seniors. How many have you been to nationals before, or how many nationals?
I have never. I've been close, but I've never made it to nationals.
Brand new. Finishing the YBC career.
Yeah.
Got to finish it off with the gold.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe that's a good segue into the next couple of questions. Obviously, being in a brand new national event, obviously it was probably kind of maybe overwhelming for how many people were there and how many spectators. When did it become surreal that you made your first national and that you were there to compete? Was it when you walked in to the first time to Bonnie Doon, or maybe when you were paraded in for the nationals at the Seville Center there?
I'm not even gonna lie. I was trying my hardest not to think too much about being at nationals. I was just trying to think of it as just another tournament, so I don't psych myself out.
Right.
It was amazing being there the entire time. Everyone was nice. I made great friends with everyone who was on the senior boys team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, something I guess if anybody had an opportunity to look at the stats, the senior boys group was honestly, it's everybody who had a lot of experience over many times, whether it's you challenge or whether it's the 4 steps. I mean, like Quentin from Northwest Territories, he played you challenge this year as well. Mitchell also from BC played you challenge. Dylan's been to Nationals. Max Gibson's played a lot. I mean, he was one of the guys that they kind of presented holding the flag at the beginning. So Max has had great experience. Kyle Slade from Newfoundland was you challenged. Mikhail Mador from Quebec, right? He was he's won Nationals before. His dad's a Hall of Famer in the C5. Jaden Hilborn, obviously, he's at first-time Nationals, but I mean, from the Hilborn family, they're out there. Ryan Luker, Trey Wedge. I mean, everybody knows Trey. He's around there a lot too.
Yeah,
and obviously Nathan, right? So you played against a lot of people that's had a lot of success, and you were the one that came on top, right? So that must be pretty cool, right? So, any thoughts on that?
It definitely feels awesome. I was just very lucky with how I was throwing because I've had a lot of luck along the way. My mother actually was the primary reason why I was able to make it without having to spend too much, because she was the one who was trying her hardest to get a lot of fundraisers going.
Right.
Take some of that off of the plate for sure.
Yeah.
When you were playing, was there any matches where you were kind of like, ooh, this one feels like a big one, or I've seen this person play and made you a little bit more nervous or things like that when you were getting on the lane?
Yeah, when I was against Maxim, every single time I was against him, I was really nervous.
So what was the reason why you were nervous? Because he was like, you knew what he's done in the past, or
what he did in the past. He almost threw a 450. His very first frame was a right, unfortunately, a right spare, but then he struck out for the rest of it. So that made me nervous for the round that I was against him, which was the next round.
Yeah. I guess maybe I can ask you this. I can ask a couple, maybe of the other singles as well. I got this from one of our later guests. You guys had to play against a vacant, like a field average. How was that? Was it tough?
It was definitely difficult, especially because it was the average of everyone that game. It wasn't the average of everyone's averages, which personally I didn't entirely understand. But it was really difficult for everyone to get past. Everyone was struggling with them. I think we had like only 5 games total out of all of us that ended up beating the vacant. Just because if someone was against the vacant, everyone's games were just phenomenal that game.
Right. I think I remember looking out there. I mean, at one time somebody had a 400, somebody had a 360 in there, and all in the same game, right? And I'm thinking to myself, that's just going to blow that out of water, right? It's going to be so tough to fight against, right? My big thing was I was hoping it would never affect a national championship medal or just a championship. I know you lost the game against it, and I know Nathan lost the game against it, so it was kind of a wash. But
equal anyway.
But when you're tied, you just don't want that to be the case, right? So.
Absolutely.
It's interesting how that was the case this year. I don't know if I've ever seen that be the vacant rule before.
No,
I don't think it was in the past, from what I've heard the others talking about.
I think it was brand new this year because I think they were trying to probably come up with a creative solution because Nova Scotia's back, which is fantastic. But they had a couple holes missing on their contingent, and so some had members and some didn't for singles, and I think this was the alternative solution they had. In the past, it was just a bye.
Yeah.
So
maybe it just goes back to a bye.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's worth always checking and trying and seeing how it is. I think it's on their docket this year, so I think they're going to be looking at that again. So sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, and thankfully, I don't think it hurt anybody across the board.
Right.
So I think it's been that good.
Yeah.
So I guess the other big thing, Johnny. So when you had an opportunity, you and Nathan were tied, right? And obviously, Nathan played very well. He averaged 286. You had an opportunity for the gold medal in the gold medal match. What was your mind going into that?
My entire mind set on the entire thing was just, I already have a medal. I'll just try to do my best, get him to push himself. I don't know if you were able to see the scores at all, but my first 5 frames were way down in the gutters. I had a head pin, split, right.
We don't have the breakdown of
12s.
frames, but we do have the final score, the tiebreaker, 240 to 247. So it was definitely a close one.
I was very lucky to be able to pull it right out in the last 5 frames, striking, sparing. For the last 5, I don't think I had a single open frame, but for the first 5, they were head pins, head pins, splits, rights, 12s.
a power finish.
Yeah.
For a gold medal.
That's definitely how it went.
Okay, so tell me, what was your 10th frame? Do you remember what your 10th frame was?
I believe my 10th frame went strike, and then another strike, and then it was either a 12 right or another strike. I can't entirely remember that one.
But anything over 40 in that 10th frame, you obviously helped you win that championship. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Especially when it's like you don't have a ton of experience at that level, and to be able to keep your composure and put the ball where it needed to go, that's very impressive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that it was a one-on-one tournament, so it was just one person against one person every round, because I tend to do very well when it's like that. For some reason, even like when it's just open and I'm not against anyone in specific, I don't do too well, but I do enough to keep a good average.
Right.
But when it comes to competitions, I'm scoring the higher scores, where I had the highest average I've ever had during this tournament than I have anywhere else.
So you like the match play format where you can kind of see what your opponent has, and then it's a one game, and then you move on to the next. It's not just a rolling total.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of players that are very similar to that, where they thrive on that environment of it's 10 frames, squeak out the match, and then you can move on. Even if you're squeaking out, like when you look at yours, you had a couple games in there, like 193s, but you were winning, right? So knowing that maybe it's not your best game, but it's enough. It's sometimes that's all you need, is just enough to get to the next one, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
And match play is very much about like emotional highs and lows and ebbs and flows and energy, right? So definitely you can take advantage of that situation. Couple quick questions. I know maybe Katie has one, but you're from Northern Ontario. You're from Thunder Bay, right? So, or anybody that out there from Thunder Bay, did you look up to or idolize or play with to help you along?
Looking up to, I actually looked up to someone who was in the same division as me. So we were both a senior. It's both of our last year this year. I looked up to someone that goes by the name of Jordan Graham. They've been to a few nationals themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
So I've looked up to them for a while, because they're one of the best bowlers out of the league that we have here.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Jordan had a really good year, and then she came out to she was at Open Nationals, right? And she was fantastic.
And was that Diamond Ladies? Yeah.
And Diamond Ladies as well. So yeah, Jordan's definitely had a lot of success in YBC and whatnot, and obviously Nationals and everything else. She's done a great job. That's definitely a good person.
Yes.
Maybe
for someone that was pushing me.
Yes.
I had my father who was pushing me because every time that we'd go out to practice, he'd be like, "Ooh, let me bowl against you," because he used to bowl when he was younger as well, but I he never really goes into specifics about how well he does. But he definitely retained some of the knowledge from his previous games because when we were going for the final practice before going down to Edmonton, he was definitely beating my scores for the first few. But then I guess he got tired and I started pulling it up a little bit. But he was definitely pushing me to do better.
Yeah. It's good to have those people, though, that you can kind of use as motivation and use to push you and push your game a little bit further.
Yeah.
Was there any coaches other than your dad who were working with you before or as you were getting ready to come to nationals?
Coaches, I had coaches that I had during league, which were Stefan Vigneault, or no, yes, Stefan Vigneault and Steve Amadeo, because they were the two that were working with my team the most. So they were helping me. They were telling me what to do. I don't do this. I don't say this often. I didn't listen too much, but when I did, I can tell it definitely helped.
Yeah,
for sure. And then looking ahead, you're graduating YBC. Are you continuing bowling in the adult world, open, masters, cash events? Like, what's next for Johnny?
Yeah, I'm definitely staying in the adult leagues. I've actually started joining the Friday Night Mix League that we have going on here.
Amazing.
That's for people. It actually starts while people are in the senior league so they can build themselves up into it.
Right.
So I've been doing that for 2 years now, 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And my team is actually just my family, so.
Nice.
yeah, that'll be fun. And then I'm hopefully we'll see you at maybe a Masters Nationals or an Open Nationals, maybe with Taylor and Greg and those guys down the road. Who knows, right? So
yeah, I'm definitely going to try for that.
Yeah. For sure. Well, congratulations on your first nationals, first national gold medal. Very impressive, and hopefully the first of many in your long career.
Hopefully. That's for sure.
all right, congratulations once again, Johnny.
Thank you.
Have a great off season.
Perfect. That was our senior boys single. Kind of crazy. First nationals, never had any experience. Goes in and beats, like, for a senior boy category. It was pretty star-studded.
Yeah, and not only to just win, but to win in a tiebreaker, like sudden death match, just winner take all. That takes a lot of pressure to handle.
Nathan at that center too, right? I mean, Nathan's very good at that center. So,
100%.
Once again, congratulations, my friend. All right, I think they are ready here. Perfect.
You see them? Yeah.
Yeah, home from their ball game. All right, we're gonna join in from our Bantam boys, single national champion from Ontario, Mason Torville.
Hello.
Hi. Hey guys.
Hey Mike, how's it going?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good.
First question, how was ball? Yeah.
Oh, we won?
Yeah. Another comeback win. Mason here had a great game. He had a stand-up double, RBI double, a single. He did strike out once, but that's okay. We
you know what?
Come on with the win. It's all right.
That's fine. I'm sure. And how was your pitching there? Do you pitch at all, Mason?
Yeah. He didn't pitch tonight, but our pitching was good. Our defense was good, and our bats came alive in I don't know, third or fourth inning, and kind of came back and won the game. So it was great.
Yeah. Sounds like our baseball team, Tim.
You know what? We should get you to come pitch. Our pitcher we need to replace.
I'm our pitcher.
Oh
no, never mind. We won't do it. That's not nice.
And I do want to point out, I know Dexter's not on podcast. He might listen to it later, but I'm pretty sure, Mike, you said you mentioned you played with Votto or knew Votto.
I did. My last year playing in my midget at midget, it was I played with Joey Votto the year before he got drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
He was he started out as a third baseman, and he ended up being our catcher. So I got to pitch to him in I believe it was OBAs that 1 year. But he was incredible ball player back then. But I know Dexter loves that guy.
I just have to point that out. Okay, more about Mason now. All right, Mason, I know Mason. This is not your first time on the show. I believe we had you on before. No,
nope, first time.
Okay, it was a
different. Yeah, my nephews on before.
Yes, that was it. Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Let's start with how old are you?
10, turning 11.
10 years old. Was today the last day of school?
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, almost done. Grade 5, almost done?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Summer break.
So let's talk about your provincials. Obviously, you guys did your roll-offs. Where was your roll-offs, Mason, and how was the competition for you?
The competition was pretty good. The one kid was keeping up with me. That kid was keeping me on my toes.
Mm-hmm.
The bowler from Chatham, he it was back and forth. It was a close matchup. It was good. They bowled at Hopedale, everyone's favorite.
I've never bowled there, but I heard it's definitely challenging. Let's put it that way, right? So I mean, were you close? Like, was it a close? Like, how close were you guys from first and second there? Do you remember?
Really close.
I think Mason was down 45 going into the last game, and he ended up winning by 40 something, 46, I think.
Oh, that's a big.
Even less than that, something. But it was close. But he needed a big one in the last one there, and it kept pace. Or that was the second last one. You had a big one, and then you just you guys both shot maybe 190 something to kind of keep it as it was.
Mm-hmm. So was it nerve-wracking for you, Mason?
Yes.
So how did you handle your nerves and your anxiety from it?
Like taking big deep breaths, and I kept I would sit down every time I would get off the lanes and just close my eyes and see what I'll do in the next shot, vision what I'll do in the next shot.
Mm-hmm.
Was this your first nationals?
No.
No. You've played nationals.
I've had 2 before. One other single and a double.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So obviously you've had experience and know it, been in those situations before.
Yep.
Just following you along with your dad's Facebook post, you're good at ball as well.
Yep.
Does being highly competitive in both sports help you in those situations, being in that spot before?
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
You can take a little bit of the things you know about ball and regulation and bring it to the bowling lanes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So maybe let's talk a little bit about nationals. Obviously, we'll talk about your amazing record that you had. How was it? I know when you first came down, you threw some balls in practice. You threw pretty good, didn't you, in your practice?
Yeah.
You had a big game there, didn't you?
What was this?
384.
I had a 384.
Yeah.
Don't mind that. My wife's playing around with her phone.
8 or 9 strikes in a row or something. I can't remember, but I remember watching the video of it.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible because he actually said to me, he's like, "I'm done." And he didn't feel good. Like, he felt good, but he wasn't feeling it on lanes. He wasn't stringing them. He just think I'm done. And I said, okay, how about one more? Let's finish on a good note here. And and he just kept going. I was like, oh man, this is unbelievable. And what a cool part was the pro team was playing 2 sets over.
The pro league team, yeah.
The pro league team, and they stopped. They were watching, and and he just kept going. And then when he threw the chop off on his 10th or 9th or whatever it was, they started clapping. He was just kind of like, oh, okay. But yeah, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, greatness, usually you recognize greatness, right? So you should take that as a compliment, especially from those boys. The next gen, I believe, was there, right? So
yeah,
definitely a great group of guys there. So that's definitely a compliment there. Obviously, it gave you a little bit of confidence going into the competition itself.
Yep.
Maybe can you explain Well, maybe I'll tell everybody out here, our listeners, if you don't know, he went 20-1.
20
And I believe
they had 22 games.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he only lost one game, right? Did he only lose one?
No,
Or
he lost 2 in the final day.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it. Yes.
Game 19 and game 22. So he had the first 18 in a row wins.
Yeah. I remember I was there and I was like, I was watching the stats and I was looking over and I was like, he might be able to do it. That'd be really cool if he went 22-0. But maybe explain how you were feeling throughout the time. Did you know, or did you realize on how much of a streak you were going through as the time was going on?
Yeah, I was feeling a bit scared going into the last day, feeling like, oh, I can make history here. And then I was getting very nervous, and I felt scared, nervous.
Yeah.
Fair. What do you normally average? Like, what's your average in league?
180.
Yeah, I think he got. I can't remember if he got to 183 or 180 or 181, something like that.
So played like 10 pins higher, averaged 192 at Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. You can tell the top, I think, nothing against the other players, but the top 3 are probably the 3 best players that you guys are playing against.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas and Owen, they seem like you guys are kind of a little bit of a step ahead of the ones below that. But I mean, I don't like looking back at it. I mean, I don't know. I know you're thinking about being perfect record and stuff like that, but you had nothing to lose. You were just there bowling. You had a chance for greatness, but did you, when you had obviously you knew after probably almost with a few games left that you won the gold. How did that feel?
That felt really good because I didn't really feel nervous in the last few games that I knew that I was winning, but I still wanted to win those games to keep my record high.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You did very well. You know what the coolest part is for me, and maybe we can relate. Obviously, you guys have a family-owned business, right? And you own the bowling center there. The coolest part is forever you're going to have that purple banner up in your own center.
Yep.
I think that's the coolest part there, Mason. Forever going to be prideful on that. So, yeah. Every day you go in there, you can see that big purple banner up there.
Tim goes and looks at his every day.
Yeah. I look at it. Yeah. That's when I was good. Everybody knows that, right, Mike?
That's right.
But that being said, what are your moving forward? Like, what's your goal for next year, or what's your goals moving forward?
To stay focused, I need to get in the bowling alley more often. If I want a chance to make it, I have to go in there a lot. Just a lot of practice and hope I can make it. Focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's funny. We talk about goals a lot, and one of the goals he said last year. So he's been to. This is his 3rd nationals. He went with his cousin Wiley in Regina, got silver. He said they wanted to come back and win gold. He ended up coming back to Ottawa as a single bowler, missing out on gold to Alberta. And he said he's got to do it one more time at least to go back and try to get the gold, and he did it. And then this year he's focused on becoming a first-year junior. And you want to average what, 200? You said, something like that. So
it's a good goal.
Yeah, I mean, definitely can do it. I think so.
Yeah. And working your way up, do you think you might play Youth Challenge in a couple of years when you get old enough?
Yeah, I think I would.
You think you would? Yeah. Fair. Do you have any bowlers that you kind of look up to and you're like, oh, that guy's really good?
My Uncle Bobby.
Uncle Bobby, yeah.
Uncle Bobby.
Like Biker. And my dad, of course.
Of course, yeah.
I didn't tell him to say that.
Good thing you threw that one in there, but I mean, it was 3rd on the list, but it was close.
Yeah, I made the list. I'm okay.
You made the list. Yeah.
Definitely have a great background and family with the Torvilles and your mom's side. You guys have definitely the bowling genes out there. So that being said, I know we talked about your goals. Is there any shout outs to any friends or anything like that out there, or any family members or anybody you want to thank?
My coaches, Pat. What's his last name?
Pat Hott. He was
Yeah.
the singles
And
coach.
Yeah.
Lucas.
He became really close friends with Lucas out of Alberta,
Right.
and it was pretty cool because you guys have the Stetsons out west, and Lucas's dad actually went out of their way and found another one because they really wanted Mason to have one.
Right.
So he presented Mason with one, and actually Mason did a jersey swap with Lucas as well and got his jersey, and Lucas got his. So
Nice.
it was pretty incredible to see how they bonded and became competitors, but friends also during competition.
Yeah. Great to see that happening at such a young level too. That just carries on as you go.
It's funny. I'm part of the YBC Nationals group, and I don't know whenever we were at YBC Nationals, we just swapped shirts. We just threw it in our bag and whatever. Now it's the whole sports one. I think that is so cool. Like it's great to see, right? And those are the memories you're going to have forever. A lot of us have been to YBC Nationals, Mason, and we have friends forever from it, right? So it's definitely a great thing you're doing there.
And with a future as bright as yours, the nice thing is you'll be able to go back and see them every year because I feel you'll have a lot more nationals in front of you.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Wonderful.
Congratulations on the national gold and on the baseball win tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Side note, he actually had a ball hockey provincial exhibition game tonight before baseball, so he was late getting to the ball diamond, which he scored a goal, and they won that game too. So
holy cow.
Winners just win. That's just how it is.
Stay humble.
Yeah, he's going to be a third boy tonight. That's for sure.
Triple threat over there. Well, thanks so much for taking time to come on and chat with us after a very busy night. But congratulations and enjoy summer break.
Thank you.
Right. This is great, guys. Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. He had lots of things on the go. Oh.
Well, yeah.
Busy family over there.
I can't even imagine, right? So, I mean, yeah. I know he's probably cheering on Uncle Bobby right now. He's at Masters Nationals.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll 100%. Be a big fan of that. So
got a big bowling family to look up to. So
and his mom's side is phenomenal players too. Like they're definitely a great group of family members to play out of. So
for sure.
All right. So we're halfway through here, or almost. We want to introduce our next group of people that are going to be coming on for us. It's going to be our junior boys single from all the way from Saskatchewan and his coach. So we have Kieran and we have Brendan. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
It's good.
Good. Yeah.
How does it feel?
Yeah, how does it feel?
Feels nice.
Yeah. Fair.
So maybe let's start off with your journey, Kieran. We know you on the lanes more than we probably know you off the lanes, just from your being as a competitor. How was the provincial level? Like, explain how you qualified for that.
I felt like I did pretty well for my provincials. I would say, like, out of all the provincials I went to, I felt the most confident going into this one. And it turned out like pretty good as a result. I'm pretty sure I got like around 350 pins above second place. So I was proud of that. And everything that day was going pretty well. So
yeah.
350. Yeah. Well, it's pretty well if you're going to be plus.
So you must have like been going into the last game kind of going, okay, like I already know.
Yeah, I was kind of like, after like the fourth game ended, I was like pretty chill about it. Like I wasn't worried about much, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, Kieran, you've been on our tour or been playing adults for the last few years. I thought you were at least a senior. I didn't realize you were still a junior.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
So when I was there at Nationals looking through the program, I'm like, I think there's a mistake here. I think there's a printing error, but obviously not. So
Was that your last year junior?
Yes, it was my last year junior.
Last year.
Okay.
So you are now 14?
No. No, no, it's first year senior. Like
Yeah. How
going
old are
into
you?
the next 15.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And maybe Brendan, let's touch base. Where do you coach out of?
I coach out
Normally?
of Glencairn.
Okay, so you and Kieran have known each other for a while. Then that makes it a little bit.
I've watched Kieran for years, and he's a machine. I don't know what else I can say. It's it's exactly the same every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same reaction, no matter whether it's a good or bad ball. Emotions are just gone, and I don't know how you do that. But yeah, it's fun to watch, so I love it.
And obviously, when you get picked as a coach, and it's an easy transition for you if you already know Kieran, have a relationship with him, and going on a national level. It makes it kind of a match made in heaven, so to speak, right? So,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
It definitely does. You're still nervous, but
Right.
it makes it easy. When I've watched him and the senior boy Jaden, I watched him forever also. So
Right.
Yeah.
Because Jaden's from Glencairn as well. That's correct. Yeah.
they're both from Glencairn. So
No.
How are you feeling getting ready for nationals?
Getting ready for nationals after my league ended, I only practiced around 3 times, for an hour. I felt pretty confident going into it, so that's why I felt like I already had the preparation, so I didn't really practice as much before.
Yeah.
Right, and obviously you've been on a higher level, been to nationals. You challenged 4 steps, or you championships now. Played obviously a higher level when it came to adults. What was your mindset coming into this event? Obviously, it was there to win, but did you have any other goals coming into it?
I did want to win, but I also wanted to make sure I didn't do the same mistakes as last time, and because I felt pretty comfortable going into nationals. I felt like I knew everything well already, so I just wanted to make sure that I had control of the game this time. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, obviously, if you're looking at your scores, you won by 2 points, right, over Cage from Medicine Hat down here. Throughout your whole process, you were pretty much in control the most time, correct?
Yes, I would say that.
Right, and then you had I know you remember you had a big game against Cage a little bit later on in the event, and it could have made it closer. Then you ended up beating him, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was kind of a big turning point there, I think.
Kind of just took everything into your own hands at that point, right? If you beat the one who's chasing you and puts a little bit more of a difference between the two of you, then you can kind of relax a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, I know you probably look at stats, Kieran, but you averaged higher. You averaged 28 pins higher a game over Cage, and over William, you averaged over 22. So obviously, you were kind of the next level when it came to this. Was there any goals when it came to average or how you played? I mean, do you like playing pinfall like you did at provincials, or you think you better suited for match play?
Pinfall was good. I prefer pinfall over match play since it's the entire tournament and not step ladder. And for the average, I was just hoping that my average would be above my normal
league
average at YBC. Yeah.
What do you average at your league average?
This year it was around 250.
That's pretty good for a junior.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be honest. Katie played at Glencairn. I don't know if she averaged 250 the first day. She was pretty close. I think you were. I'm not kidding you, but
I can't remember. Yeah.
But that's impressive. Going into the nationals, obviously you've been there before, but you've made a few cuts on the tour. You've been successful on some runs. Does that help? That kind of format help you with the Nationals, being in that kind of that area and that kind of competition? Like,
yeah, the WCBT helped me mostly like by mental strength because it also helped me like and be more endurance. So because like so I can play more games at a time without being that tired. It helped me with the mindset, like going up against adults and like good players. It helped me against the normal YBC provincials, other provincial champions, and it was really useful for like normal shifts can impact like how I do in nationals.
Yeah. Yeah, we always say that like the more you can put yourself in positions where you're playing against players who maybe are people you've looked up to or really high caliber players, it's only going to elevate your own game, right? And so you kind of have an advantage when you're going up against other juniors because we don't have a ton of juniors who are coming out to cash events. Really, maybe if they live in a city where there's one hosted, they might come throw a shift, but to be consistently at those events, that's only going to help elevate your game every year that you do that, right?
Yeah.
that is just crazy. I'm so mind-boggled that he's a junior. I guess I know your dad has always brought you out to these events, and I think that if you're able to do it, I think that's something out there for people, maybe to let the kids have an experience, because the first couple you might not do well, but the experience is key. Like Kieran is mentioning, just the mental game, be able to throw a bunch of games. You're on your feet the whole day, no different than this, right? So you learn how to react and how to adapt. I guess moving forward, obviously you're going to be going to seniors next year, Kieran. What are kind of your thoughts and your goals for next season, and what do you want to achieve?
Well, I'm for like provincial before nationals. I usually just treat it the exact same. Even in nationals, I treat it the same. It's like it's going up against other people my age, and I just have to prove that I will like perform better than them, trying to get like ahead of them. Like this year, trying to be ahead of like the pack usually, and I'm gonna use like the WCBT, like things from WCBT, and try and like achieve with that capabilities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, you didn't play U Challenge this year. Are you going to play U Challenge this upcoming season? Maybe.
Probably not, because I want to also go to WCBT events like cash tournaments, and also I prefer singles over U Challenge. So, yeah.
Have you ever played the doubles before, or just all singles?
No, it's always been singles for me.
Well, at that average and that age, I understand why you would be only singles at that point. So, yes. So, okay. I guess, yeah. So next year you're going to have those goals. I'm sure, honestly, looking at the kids in that category, I'm pretty certain you have a good chance again next year. I know there's going to be some tight competition, but I think you're going to have a good chance. Is there anything you want to say at the end here, or do you have any thank yous or any maybe some words of encouragement for people at your age to get where you're at?
I like to thank all my supporters, everyone that came down, and I'd like to give good luck to all my junior boys I played to this year. It was really fun, and it was a lot of competition. For advice, I just really say bowl more, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
throw.
Yeah, throw as many balls as you can in as many situations.
Yeah, that's actually very good advice.
Yep.
Simple as it is.
Yeah. Before you leave, when we were talking to one of our last guests, it kind of sparked me. Did you trade jerseys with anyone at Nationals this year?
Yeah, I traded with BC. He was very ongoing, and the jersey looked probably my favorite jersey out of this Nationals. I traded with Northern Ontario, the purple. It was a pretty nice jersey, and I made good friends with him too. Most of the junior boys I made good friends with, and then I think that was it. And and Alberta with Cage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nice.
That one's worth no money at all. I'm telling you right now.
Along also with Wyatt from Northwest Territories, because
Nice.
I think it's a great tradition. I mean, how they take photos again. Like I think it's really cool. So
yeah.
Brendan, any last thoughts on your end, Brendan? Obviously, you did a great job coaching Kieran.
Kieran made it easy. They bowled multiple leagues, so it was real easy. No extra practices at that point, because at that point I'm not going to burn them out, or even try to burn them out. So it's a matter of I showed up at his league when I could, and it was. I gave him the choice. I asked him specifically if he wanted me to be the loud and obnoxious coach or the quiet and hover. He chose quiet and hover, unfortunately for me, but I like being loud, but he doesn't, so it's great. But other than that, it was fun, and even the coaches trade shirts. So
nice. So who did you trade shirts with?
Alberta, and then the Southern Ontario doubles coach.
Nice.
Pat's a little bigger than me, so it didn't work out. So we worked out an agreement on that one. And
That's
so
cool.
so it was great. Actually, it was fun, exhausting but fun.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work, definitely. Yeah, and it's because you're there from Sunday, and you guys left probably Thursday. I'm guessing, even right. So you're 5, 6,
but
5 or 6 days or 7 days in a hotel room. It's a lot. It's a lot of travel. But you guys did it, right? You guys got the goal that you were looking for.
He did it. Did it. I cheered. I was good.
Yeah. Perfect.
So I'm proud of him.
For sure.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys, for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Congratulations, Kieran. I'm certain we'll see you maybe at the Beef Bowl, maybe definitely at the Autumn, right? So
yeah. Perfect. Have a great off season, you guys, and we'll see you in the new year.
See you
too.
See you guys later. Oh,
right.
Another great champion. Still can't believe he's a junior. Makes me feel really, really, really old.
Like, I just think back, like, I feel like I've seen him on tour for like 3 years now.
He has been on tour for 3 years.
I know. So, like, was he 10 when he started coming out to catch events? Like, that's what I mean.
He would have been 11.
Yeah, like, that's wild. Wild to me. But
Oh, well, I mean, obviously he put the time in, put the effort in.
100%.
And he said you got to throw some balls, right? So perfect. All right, we're gonna move on to our next group. Maybe our least favorite. I don't know yet. But it's our junior boys national champion doubles team from Alberta. So we have Caleb, Braxton, and Palmer. Hey guys.
Hello.
Least favorite, eh?
Yeah, least favorite. I mean, you can see it's kind of weird. That's Weber's spot for a podcast over there, and he's perfectly taking place of that same spot. So he's definitely a better addition to the podcast. So welcome, Brax. I do appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
All right. So you guys had some time to kind of get into the feeling the national championship vibes. Maybe you guys can discuss how you guys felt winning that championship.
Yeah, it was no problem. We dominated the whole last game and took her home.
Yeah. That's the word I would use to describe it too.
Dominate. Maybe let's start with provincials. Provincials, obviously, zones, I think you guys walked through pretty well on that aspect. You had nothing to worry about that. Provincials, you guys had a little bit of a competition, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of came to the last couple games down there. Maybe one of the boys want to speak up, or Palmer, you guys can kind of explain how close it was maybe at the provincial level.
Well, it was tight. We were down a few pins going to the last game against Grayson and what's his name from St. Albert?
Right.
Yeah, but Caleb talked to us before the last game. He's like, let's get loud. Unfortunately, we started off well and we're able to get loud. And that really just built us a bunch of momentum going to the second half of the game, and we just kind of rode that out. So,
Right.
We're able to
And
sneak it out.
yeah.
And at the Nationals, it was back and forth the whole time. It was one of the tighter divisions, I would think. If you look at it, anybody at home, if you have a chance, from sixth to first, there's only three points difference, 3 match wins. So I mean, there's a lot of parity in there. Obviously, you guys are the averages range from looks like 435 to 429 for the top 5 teams. So again, super close. Maybe yeah, go ahead, Katie.
I was gonna say, how were you feeling like at Nationals when you were playing, winning some, losing some? Like did you let that kind of get in your head? Caleb, how were you feeling?
I was feeling a little scared throughout the tournament because I wasn't at Nationals. I only seen what was Nationals with Aaron and Maddie. So yeah.
Right. So this was your first Nationals as a player instead of a spectator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Brax, how were you feeling while you were there?
I was really nervous the first couple games because I never really knew what Nationals was like. But as games started to come on, it was getting better and better for us, and we were playing as a team for most of them, which made it really nice.
Yeah. One thing I remember while I was there watching that both of your families were telling me was that sometimes, Braxton, you were playing really, really well, and Caleb, maybe you were struggling. And then at other times, Braxton, you were kind of struggling, and Caleb was kind of holding things in a little bit to get you to that last match together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Palmer, how did you help them kind of stay connected as a team?
I was just trying to keep them loose down in the pit. I mean, the boys know how to bowl. It's just more just keeping them relaxed. No temper tantrums on the lanes, slapping lanes or anything. But
no, you guys don't do that. There's nobody on your team.
Oh, we had a big talk about it the week before Nationals.
Yeah.
But no, it was just more about keeping them relaxed and just letting them play the game they know how to play.
For sure.
Yeah.
Insider information, I always felt that for our center and for our group of kids, these two were always one of the closest together. They're definitely 2 people you want to play together with, just simply because they're like a yin and yang together, right? They're so good together. One's high, the other one, or if one's low, somebody always picks them up. And then when you had the opportunity to coach Palmer, it was just a perfect fit.
We had some unfinished business from last year, so to be able to go back this year and take care of it was awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Palmer, this is your first Nationals, I believe, right?
Well, the first one I was able to go to.
Yes. Yeah. The other one, obviously, with COVID, you weren't able to. And your first championship win, too, right? So I think it's pretty cool. I think. How did that feel? What did everything?
It felt great, obviously. Meant a lot that it was able to do it with Caleb and Brax. Obviously, I have a close relationship with the Jenkins family, so being able to be there with Brad and Mel and everybody was awesome. And the Webbers are fantastic people.
Mm-hmm.
And we all clicked. We're all tight.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pull out my shank at Nationals. So
Please.
And let's be honest with you, it couldn't happen at a better place. It's that Bonnie Doon's a second home to all of us. Let's be honest, right? They treat us so well. Having it sort of on our second home turf, I think it just was a great way of captivating it all for everybody, right?
Yeah, we were able to practice there a lot because I bowl there on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
So the boys would come up before league, and we throw some games and just work on some stuff. And I had a really comfortable feeling bowling there because we bowl YTL and other events there all the time anyway. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like we're going to a strange center and trying to figure stuff out. We pretty much knew what we were getting when we got there. So
maybe let's talk about the elephant in the room here. All right, last game, you have the opportunity. You're playing Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
You guys are tied, right? Either whoever wins is going to win the national gold, right? There's going to be no ties. Nothing's going to go on like that.
Did you boys know that going into that game that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, come on! He's a Weber. First of all, he would know what's going on, whether he liked it or not.
Yeah.
And I know Caleb would know too, right? And unfortunately, just the way the lane draw was on 47-48, so you guys are stuck
in there to watch.
Maybe that was a good thing. You're away from everybody else, right? But maybe let's talk about it. How were you guys feeling going to the last game?
Going into the last game, I was nervous because the game before I really struggled, and Caleb was bowling really well, which I almost put all of it on myself if we didn't win the last game, because I knew we had a chance to win national gold, and if we didn't, I would have put it on myself. So I was just really nervous, but yeah.
Caleb, how are you feeling?
I was feeling pretty good because the 2 previous games before that I threw pretty high, and then I brought it into the last game with us.
Yeah, because you finished 330, 268, and then went into that final game with a 236. So definitely turned it on at the end, right?
Yeah, it's its highest triple ever, right? Caleb,
Nice.
And Caleb, what's your league average?
I think a 185.
185, and you average 216.
210.
210. Yeah. So I mean, you played phenomenal there, Caleb. And Brock, same thing as yourself. I know your average is 200, and you're way over average. You averaged 218.
218, had a 358 in there, game 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of really good games in there.
So last frame, it's close, right? Maybe let's talk to Palmer to start this one. Palmer, what were you thinking?
Set the stage.
Well, it was a tight match. And Caleb finished strong, and then I think Saskatchewan punched. So I'm like, all right, we just need a good shot from Brax. And then that 2-pin came out of nowhere.
We can laugh about it now. Right? It's a moot point, right?
Yeah. And then kind of just tried to calm Brax down because obviously it's a big moment. And then he absolutely nuked the spare.
Yeah.
I knew we needed a chop off to win.
I thought we needed aces.
Yeah. And then he just threw an absolute bomb. As soon as he let it go, I knew.
Yeah.
It was just an absolute perfect shot.
Yeah.
And we absolutely needed it.
So let's talk. We'll discuss. Maybe let's talk about that. That obviously Brax maybe not the first ball you wanted to throw.
No.
But I will say it takes such poise to come back, spare it, and then you have to throw another one in order to win. Right?
Yeah.
I think that just it shows your growth that you've come through. Obviously, we're so happy you guys did that. But maybe explain what was going through your mind during that time.
In my mind, going for the spare, I thought we had no chance anymore because of the 2-pin. I thought everything was lost, so I kind of threw that ball for fun at that point. And once I spared it, I actually realized that there was still a chance, so I tried to calm myself down. But my heart was beating out of my chest because I knew it was like the biggest moment of my life.
Yeah. That's a hard moment to, like, I threw a 2-pin at provincials this year, and the next frame when I had to go back and shoot at the middle again, it was like, I have no idea. Like, it's hard to settle yourself back down after a moment like that, and to do it in such a big moment where everything's on the line, you know you need to hit side of the middle, like, that shows incredible resiliency to be able to kind of recenter yourself and
100%.
Yeah.
It's great. Obviously, we have a little bit more details in this stuff than we have maybe in the other ones. Conflict of interest, and I'll be honest, I really don't care at this point. We're just like watching it from the live stream there. I know your parents or everybody's parents are super proud of you. We're super proud of you. I do want to mention to Caleb. Caleb, you're the first Jenkins, I believe, to win a national medal in YBC out of all this time. So you can stick it to Maddie a little bit.
Well, she won the gold, Jake Clown.
Yeah, she got gold.
Yeah, she won a gold medal.
Oh yeah,
the
she
first
did.
year
Oh,
she
she
played
did.
open.
But not in juniors. Not in juniors.
Not in
okay?
juniors. No, it was
No,
in seniors.
right? It must mean something to you guys for winning that gold there. So now you have something with your sister.
Yeah.
Did you call Maddie because I know she wasn't able to come down and watch live. Did you call her when that moment was done?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Maddie's all right.
Did she cry?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
I thought
Well,
she
I don't
would've.
know. I think she did. I don't think she let you on to that. I think she told us. She should.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did.
Yeah, Brad's talking in the background. Yeah, he knows. Okay. I mean, maybe let's wrap it up. Unfortunately, we could go on a little bit longer with you guys, but we have a schedule. But maybe explain to you guys, any thank yous, anything you want to shout out to any friends, maybe have what your next goals are for the upcoming season.
Rex, why don't we start with you?
I want to thank my parents, my grandparents for all being there and supporting me. I want to thank all the Frames of Shame guys for watching me throw the two-pin. I want to thank Caleb and Palmer for being my teammates in like my down moments and my highs. Yeah, I think that's it.
Nice. Caleb, did you have anybody?
I want to thank my parents for coming down and driving me there, and Braxton and Palmer for getting me there and helping me bowl such well.
Any plans for next year? What's your plans?
Make nationals again, hopefully, with Caleb. I know it's going to be tough, but I still feel like we can do it. Yeah.
Nice. And youth challenge for both of you?
Yes.
Yes. I think this will be the year Caleb gets that monkey off his back. He will make that team. I know he will.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Congratulations to all of you on your very first national medals. And enjoy the off season. I'm sure we'll see you around, but
yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Obviously, a little biased. I'm super proud of them. I think it was totally cool coming out of the 10th frame, having a chance to win. I know we're super proud and happy to have that banner up in our center. So,
yeah, I mean, coming from Edmonton and having those Edmonton families and families that we both have such strong connections with, all three of them, like Palmer and the boys, it was just really cool to see there. It was cool to be there in the bowling alley and just see the excitement on all of their faces when it happened too. So
it was cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. I will say on a side note, not trying to make any digs, but average pros, Palmer wins. Obviously, the coaching is not the issue. So it's definitely Henry and the boys. So maybe they need to step
Palmer's
up.
Yes.
It's not Palmer's fault. Okay, bye, Palmer.
Okay, bye, Palmer.
All right, we can keep moving on. I saw our next guests are here.
Yes, we're super excited to have them. Our senior boys team, national gold medalists, Colton, Lucas, and Coach Kara from BC. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Yeah. You guys all got together. Are you at the bowling alley right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, happy to have you guys on. I appreciate you guys making the trek out there and doing it all together. Maybe let's touch base on how the provincials went now, and explain how close it was, or maybe how well you guys fared.
Ooh, well, our provincials, we it started actually at zones. We were 154 pins behind 2 teams going into the last game for zones. We had an injury. Lucas was injured, but they rallied and they came back 174 pins to win. And that took us to provincials. And then in provincials, we went 9 out of 10 and ended up in a 2-way tie for first, where we had to do a 8, 9, 10 tiebreaker. Wow. And we won by 8 pins.
Oh my goodness. So a little bit of pressure, like right off the get-go, right at the provincial level.
Yeah, at the provincial level. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. Gets you set up for nationals.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little bit stressful, I would think. But no, that's absolutely an awesome way to move on to the nationals. I know all of you guys had some sort of national experience throughout the time. I mean, I know that both Colton and Kara were at U Challenge, right? And then I know, Lucas, you've had quite the accolades as well over the time. So what were your thoughts going on into the nationals for this upcoming one?
So I really, really wanted to win this year. Like, I was thinking, like, this is the year for me. I got it. I'll just try, do everything I can to, try to win this time.
Yes, because you've been close before, right? And I remember seeing that in the past, just not there, right? So,
yeah.
And Colton, what about you?
I was like, this is my first 4-step nationals I've been at, so I was mostly excited for the experience. And then, yeah, I'm happy we won though. It was so fun.
Did you, Lucas? Sorry, not Lucas. Did you get? Sorry, Colton. Did playing Youth Challenge Nationals help you a little bit, getting you prepared for YBC Nationals? Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect at all, so it really helps me kind of understand what it would be like.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect.
So as you were getting ready for nationals, kind of what was your mindset going in? Like, were you practicing together at all? Were you just kind of doing your own things, Youth Challenge Nationals, leagues, things like that?
We were practicing quite a bit. I think it was we had 2 leagues that we were in, and then we were also practicing 3 times outside of the leagues. And also we're cousins. Yeah. So we hang out outside. We go to school together. We hang out a lot outside of bowling. So we have a lot of chemistry, I think. Fair. So it's we feed off each other really well.
That definitely was it.
And
yeah, that helped a lot.
Yeah.
That carries a team huge. When you have 2 people or a team of people who are able to be so connected on a personal level as opposed to just as teammates on a lane, that takes a team so far.
Yeah.
They definitely had each other's backs every step of the way.
Yeah.
100%. And you guys are definitely from a bowling family. It goes in your blood, right? I mean, so your dad Trevor is competing right now in Masters Nationals.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys are definitely got some experience behind your back on that. So that definitely does help you out. So yeah, maybe let's talk about a little bit about the event itself. You guys started off with 5 in a row that you guys won, and then you guys kind of. It looks like you guys were by streaks. You guys go 5 in a row, lose 4, and then you win a bunch in a row, and then you lose 3, and then you had to win your last 2. So, what was kind of your mindset throughout the winning and losing streaks? I guess you can say.
So, when we lost 1, we kind of just tried to kind of focus back up a little bit, but sometimes it was a little bit difficult to do that. And then we had I remember we had lunch breaks in between every time that we had a losing streak. So that helped us focus up again and just think about what we can do, all the mental stuff that we were practicing before coming to the nationals. And then we were able to pick it back up again and then keep that streak going.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Sometimes a break is a good break, right? Kind of just reset yourself. I imagine you probably went upstairs, took a walk, took a break. You didn't have to be in the center. And sometimes when you are losing like that, you can feel it kind of spiraling a little bit, and it's a good way to stop it, right? So that's definitely a good point there.
And some of our losses, like the other team, they do monster games, like the 689. At that point, you just stand back and you cheer and you hope that they're going to go away because that's a big game.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. Like in the pit, all of the boys were very sportsmanlike to each other. The coaches were great. It was a really good experience being down there too. So there was a lot of camaraderie that happened as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Were there certain teams that you had played against at other events, or that you were a little bit more nervous to play against going into the event?
I knew Lucas Kellaway from Southern Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty good, so it was good. It was good to play against him, and I think he was like the only one that I really knew that on the senior low team that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't really know anybody, so I was just kind of going into it.
Sometimes that's the best way. You don't have any expectations of anybody, and you can just go throw your own game.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I don't think you played anybody. Any of those people didn't play you challenge. So, yeah, definitely a new group of people that you're playing against. Nicholas, Nicholas is Lucas's brother, but Lucas had to play by himself for the first little bit. It looked like Aaron obviously had some travel issues, so that changed a little bit of the dynamic of the event. But maybe let's talk about your last two games. You need to win your last two games, and you guys shoot over a 600 double average. So, and Lucas, you shoot a 751 double to finish with a 401. and I'll be honest with you, that 400 you got tapped. You got tapped on all those strikes in a row, and you don't normally get tapped there. So. Maybe discuss your mindset going the last two games, Lucas, and the winner take all game that you guys shoot that massive score.
Like I was thinking to myself, like I'm here right now, and whatever I do now, I'll remember forever. So if I just focus and do what I can, and just like throw the shot that I know will work, then it's gonna be all good, and then we're gonna just take it the whole way if I just do that.
Yeah. When Colton hit the middle, like in those last two games, almost 100% of the time. So that last game, go throw that ball, you're going to get it, and aces. It's like, okay, just go back and throw that same ball. And he pulled a 227 out of his last game there too, with all of the stuff that he was getting. But it was a pleasure to watch the two of them, and I think they just click because they're a really good team together. But it wasn't any kind of like us going in saying, okay, we just went in and played our own game. And we did, in my head was thinking, we need this game because I couldn't handle another tiebreaker. But and Lucas was just in the zone. And it was a pleasure to watch them.
Yeah, no, you guys definitely did very well. It was exciting. I don't know if Katie was there at the moment. I don't think she wasn't. But I remember you guys were very poised. It was, and let's be honest, the team there chasing you from behind, Quebec, they had a 600 double themselves. So it wasn't like, and you guys are in that close vicinity where you guys are watching and you're seeing it around. So I'm very impressed to see you two boys play so well and very poised at that as well. And I know Trevor and I know each other over the years, and I can tell he was getting excited, but he was nervous as well. So, it's definitely
hard being the spectator sometimes.
Yes, 100%. And Kara, congratulations! I have to say, I watched you. You challenged nationals, and for you to win this, I think that's awesome as well. So much deserved for all you guys.
What do you guys kind of have on the goal list for next season, or branching out of 4 steps or YBC Nationals?
So I just want to maybe make it back to the nationals again, of course.
For sure.
I think we're both going to try doing singles. And if we both don't make the singles event, then we're going to team together for the team part. But yeah, I'm going to try to make youth challenge, and I'm going to do quite a bit of adult cash tournaments in my area, just to help with the tournament experience. Yeah.
The big one. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I asked them if they wanted to practice on the Monday we got back, and they kind of said no. But no.
Yeah.
Smart answer. I would be looking at you crazy too, for sure.
Yeah. I think you guys are in such a good position because you both you can see a love for the game, a drive to want to be better. And because you're so close being cousins, that just gives this natural relationship to be able to push each other and keep elevating your games and keep pushing each other to the next thing and the next tournament and travel together to tournaments and all of that just helps build your games up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we'll leave it at that, I guess. But I will say once again, I was super impressed watching you both. You guys handled yourself so well, and I like watching people who play well when they need to shoot the shots at the end, and you guys did it. So that's something like you mentioned there, Lucas. You can forever remember those moments, right? So
yeah,
and it was live streamed, so he's got it forever if he wants to.
There we go.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to come on and chat with us, and congratulations to you all on the gold medal.
Thank you.
And enjoy the off season. It's nice to have a little bit of a break.
We will. And we just wanted to say thank you to Ivan and Sandy. It was their Ivan and Sandy came. They've now changed hands at the bowling alley, but they still came to watch the boys, and all the families were there. And Bailey Lawson was there as our bench coach too. So there was a lot of support for these boys.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, great community around you.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, guys, and we will see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one.
All right. Yeah, it was fun to watch the last game. It was chaos. And yes, he did get tapped on that corner. That was a good shot.
I think I was watching it on the live stream. Like I think I couldn't get over to where it was, but I was.
Yeah.
There was so much going on in that bowling alley.
I mean, in the back we're sitting there, and it was me, Carrie. I think maybe Johnson was still there. Definitely me, Carrie, and Robin were watching this. He's like, and we're trying to watch Caleb and Emma down there. And all of a sudden, Robert's like, "Oh my God, he got tapped!" And I remember that it was a bomb, right? We're like, so it was crazy good, and I like watching that.
Yeah,
watching people win instead of them lose, and they definitely won that. So
100%. All right, we're at our last guest, right?
Your last guest, or our guests are two most favorite people in the world, right? So, we're going to bring on our last and final guest, our senior girls national champion single, and her coach. So we have Michaela Sanderson and Maria Wood.
Hello.
Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Surviving.
Long time no see, Michaela.
I know, it's been a while, hey?
What, a few weeks?
Not even?
If that.
Not even, no. Yeah, we see her more than we probably see a lot of other people out there, right? So, but let's touch base. I know this is like you're basically, part of the show nowadays, Michaela. Let's maybe touch base on the provincials and how that kind of worked out.
Provincials were at Toppler back in November. So it was nice. It was my first provincial event ever at Toppler. So felt somewhat comfortable going in because we don't host anything there. So only Calgary bowlers really know what Toppler's like. So that felt nice. All right. I was up like 300 pins, and then someone shot like a 380. Or Kylie's Solowan.
Yeah.
She shot like 380, and then so she was within like she was around 100 back, and then she starts the next game like spare 5-bagger. I was like, all right,
guess I have to turn it on now.
But I ended up taking it out, so it felt good. You know, it's nice to win at Toppler. Always feels good.
Yeah,
definitely. A good chance. I mean, I think probably the way the rotation is probably be in Edmonton next year, I'm guessing, for singles. So your last provincials have a chance to win it at your home center. It's kind of a nice fitting way of finishing that there. So
yeah, for sure.
And then you guys go nationals, and congrats to Maria being picked. I believe this is her second time at least being picked as a national coach for that, correct?
Yeah, it was. It was different from the first time for sure.
It was definitely a little bit different, but I think you guys did. Well, actually, I'm going to date myself. I was there when you were last time there. I think it was 2005 in BC, if I remember correctly. So yeah. So maybe it was 20 years ago. We both had I had more hair. You had a little bit more color in yours, and we went there and we did it. Maybe before we touch base with Michaela, how was your coaching experience this year different than the last one?
It was, how do you put it without upsetting anybody? It was an experience in the fact that I lost weight running back and forth. Like there was one game where my bantam girl was on 1, my junior girl was like, I think on 12, and Michaela was down in the 20s. So as a coach, you wanted to watch all of them. With Michaela, it was easy. I just went by, high five her, and that was it, kind of thing. And she'd ask me, she'd say, Coach Nona, can I leave the pit? That was it. That's, but it was really hard because you wanted to watch all your kids from Alberta, even the boys, and you were stretched to the limits trying to stay on top of all of them. So that was one thing that I kind of mentioned, that they should look at a different way of doing it. Like you keep your the girls, you keep your 3 girls together. They still bowl against the person from the other province in their division, but you're always with your team. It was kind of hard because sometimes there were lanes where there were absolutely no coaches. And then there were other lanes where there'd be 8 coaches standing there. So it was kind of frustrating that way.
Yeah.
And I think in the past, I mean, Michaela can tell us, I think that was the way they used to do it, right?
We used to go at Nebs in 2022. We did we bowled the first 5 games with our team, and then we split out. And then the following year, we bowled the first 10 games with all 3 girls, and then we split up. And then last year was the first year since I was a senior. But when I went to nationals in 2017 in Quebec for singles, the coaches used to have to they used to get assigned a lane.
Yeah, we were assigned lanes back in BC too.
So you could be on a lane with none of your players on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I like it either way. I mean, it was sometimes it was a bit hard playing because it's it's kind of slow when you're playing with, and I'm not trying to be in the bad. That's the only that's the only thing that I was a little bit.
I think I think with the seniors really don't have to have a coach standing there all the time. They've got to where, especially Michaela and Nathan, they're in a stage where they didn't need, all they needed was someone to maybe say, give them a pat on the back, or with Michaela when she hurt herself a little bit, just to be there and make sure she was okay.
Yeah.
The other ones, like my little bantam, and my junior, it was the first year for the junior girl, and I really wanted to stay more watching them. And then I had that little character, Cage, who every once in a while would say, I want the old lady to come and watch me.
That sounds like him.
Yep. So, but no, I would definitely do it again. It's very enjoyable. The little ones are the best for me at my stage now. I like working with the little ones so I can, watch them develop.
Yeah.
Because Michaela could teach me now.
I'm sure she could.
I got my level too.
Yeah.
That's right.
There you go.
Coach Michaela.
I will say that fitting that Maria coached back in 2005, and she had a Bantam Girl winner right back then, and now she has a gold medalist here with Michaela. So good job there, Coach.
Thanks.
So now we're going to touch base maybe a little bit with Michaela. This is obviously not your first rodeo with any nationals by any means. I believe this is your 3rd YBC Nationals championship single. 4th.
3rd YBC.
YBC, didn't you have a bantam?
Yeah, that's my 3rd gold. Yeah.
So, your 3rd gold. That puts you in a quite a different territory than a lot of other ones out there. 3 is a lot for singles. What did this one mean to you?
Felt good. I never won in Alberta, so that was something. It always feels like I said
It's
earlier,
different.
like it always feels different to win on home turf. Like
Mhm.
I always think there's a different confidence coming in, but it feels 10 times better because you have the home crowd. It felt good because last year I came up short and got silver, so to come back and win this year.
Redemption.
Yeah, and I think it's my last year's playing singles, so we'll see.
But you do have another year left?
Yeah, I have next year. I can play the Open and Masters next year, but
yeah. But you do have an opportunity to have a chance to go to nationals again. So that's something you can think about in the summer.
Season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
decide
during the
whether you
summer,
want to do that.
but I'm probably playing doubles, so
playing doubles.
Yeah, Stacy's gonna be the coach. We said we'd give her another go.
There you go. Hey, well, hey, you know what?
And do you already have the partner picked out?
Well, maybe.
Oh,
it's sealed information.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, if you already have goals already for next year and you've already accomplished what you want to accomplish, then it's something for you to look at and want to do on your own note. Then, absolutely, right? So, I know if you're looking forward to it, looking at your matches here, there was really no time that you weren't in control. I mean, first 10 games, you had 9.5 points. You averaged 280. You averaged, 36 pins higher than the next person. Was there at any point that you were a little bit worried or a little bit panicked?
I felt all right going into the third day just because of how the point system we're sitting. Like the only person who could technically beat me would have been Taylor, I'm pretty sure. And so I was only a little bit scared because we played each other first game off the hop and she beat me, which she beat me both times we played. So, it's always she played super well the whole entire event.
Yeah.
And but then I won my next one and she lost. So kind of just
balanced it back out.
Again. So it kind of every time I opened the door, she didn't come through. So I didn't play the greatest my last day, but sometimes I struggle keeping my foot on the gas. It's something I don't know. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to do. So
I think there was a little bit of confusion when you were playing those vacancy spots because it was trying to figure out, did she win it? Is she gonna hold on?
My first vacancy game, I spared a split to win it. And then my last one, I go double in 10 and then I punch, but I get the kickback for 7 and I won it by a point.
Yeah.
So
you had very close matches with the vacancy.
Yeah, it's definitely hard because you're looking around. My mindset going into that game is just to try and keep up with the highest score.
Right.
If you're the highest score in the field, you're gonna win.
100%.
So that's I kind of just say I'm playing a match play against the person who's bowling the best.
Yeah, which is a good way to look at it because there's really no other way to on the fly mathematically figure out what's the average at where am I at, right? So that's just a quick and easy way to keep you engaged.
Our junior girl lost against the vacancy with the 289, but it was because of the scoring the other games.
Yeah.
It's
I looked at it and I was like, if you look at it now, the vacancy actually at the 5th highest average.
Yeah.
12.
The vacancy, the first day for our senior girls, I think I was the only person and maybe one other person to beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for the first 10 matches. So technically it would have been in first.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's they're just trying something new. So
100%.
That's what Youth Bowl Canada does. But I mean, it kind of plays with the medals. It definitely had a difference in where the seeding is. So that's the only thing I found that was a little bit tough. If you came in 4th and you lost to that was your 2 losses.
Yeah,
that sucks because it's you're not even playing against someone in the field. You're playing everybody.
Yeah. Right. Because between 2nd and six, let's say, is only 2 points, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said it earlier with Johnny, it's going to be something they're probably going to be talking about. I think, you know, I give them kudos for coming up with a new idea and see how it goes. They're definitely not lacking ideas, which is definitely not a bad thing. I just, you know, until you actually put it into fruition, you just don't know what you're going to get out of it, right? So it's something for them to take a look at. But it definitely adds a different element when you're playing them. That's
yeah.
And thankfully it didn't affect any of your medals, right? So you're up by 3.5 on that.
I think I've been to 7 YBC Nationals, and I've only played the same format twice.
Yeah.
So they're very like they like putting new things in, which is fine. Like, I mean, you're trying to find the best way. Like,
you have to, right?
Yeah.
So
you can't be stale on it, right? So
there's always a better way to put a format together.
Yeah.
I do have a question though for you as well, Michaela. Obviously you won double gold this year. You won U Challenge Nationals and in Calgary, and then you also won one in Alberta with this one. How does that feel, winning double gold?
It feels pretty cool. I mean, it's cool to win as a team and then win as a single, both in Alberta.
Big year.
It was my last U Challenge that I could bowl, and I hadn't won a gold in that yet. So I definitely wanted to come out on top there with the team, especially, you know, I felt like our team was a little bit underdog-ish. So it was cool to come from behind and win on that final day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels good. You know, kind of it's the end of my YBC career kind of now, or my youth career. So it's nice to be ending with
such a high note.
I can't
complain.
Yeah. Now, obviously, this if you're looking at U Challenge Nationals, 5 out of the 6, the top 6 you played at U Challenge. Taylor is a phenomenal player. She made the Diamond Ladies Classic cut. I don't know much about Molly, but Emma, Vanessa, and Morgan. Morgan's the reigning champion before this year. You've all played them. Would playing kind of the same competition or playing at least have some comfortability playing against these girls, did that help you out at all?
Yeah, like I've played Vanessa for like 5 years now with like U Challenge and
YBC.
The last 2 years have been YBC because she's a bit younger than me. But we've always had good, like the two of us always have a good match. So I always enjoy playing her. Like, you know, when I go to a nationals and Vanessa's in the pit, I know it's going to be like there's one person I can talk to. So like that's always nice. Like the nice thing about singles is like after the second game, you know, it's not as quiet in the pit anymore. You kind of get to know, you start talking with people, like, or you talk about U Challenge, you know. I was talking with Emma about BC and we're, you know, doing that because I know I've played against a couple people from BC that she would know. So yeah, it was nice. It's just nice because like it's awkward when you're bowling somebody when you kind of don't know them. Especially in singles, like the last 3 years I've basically played the same field, and if I wasn't, it's just the junior singles moving up to seniors, so I know who they are.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's comfortable in that way. Like you never feel like you're like uncomfortable against a person.
For sure.
So,
it was so nice to see how all these kids got together, like, and not just all the seniors or the juniors. They seemed to all have connected. Like it was nothing for Kenzie, the little bantam, to always be worried about how Michaela was doing or how Brielle was doing or how all the other guys were doing. She was always wanting to know how everybody else was doing. And that it was just amazing to see all of that. And one proud moment for me was I got to be at a youth tournament at a national with my grandson and my adopted granddaughter. So that was very special.
Yeah.
The family did very well.
Didn't get to see Braxton throw that last frame, but
it's okay.
But you were there, and that's what matters. Yeah.
And I had the little one crying because she ended up in a tie for gold.
Oh no.
That was so hard to just sit there and hold her.
Yeah.
But it was good.
When we look ahead, youth career coming to an end, what's like the big goals for the adult ranks? You've already done a lot of like the cash event stuff, but what's next?
Open singles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to make open and masters. Definitely. I mean, open, see what the Calgary ladies can do and stuff like that. I want to make that team, and
Yeah.
I want to experience that. Tour events, I'm going to try and get out to a few more, even if I'm trying to get out to the west or the east tour, like the club tour.
The club tour. Yeah.
But I'd really like to make the tour finals. The last 2 years, I've been getting closer and closer. So it's kind of like I just need one more good cash event for me to hopefully make that. So that's kind of one of my bigger wishes.
Just a matter of time for you, Michaela. It's just it's not a question of how long.
It's
when.
Yeah.
I got Gallagher Cup this year, so that's one step forward. So now it's just tour finals. But
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to play Masters for sure. Especially watching it right now. I actually have it beside me, have the singles going.
So do I.
Yeah,
keep
watching
looking
Jenna
over.
throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely want to play. I can't wait to play, like, if I make that with all the Alberta ladies. Katie, we said we're good teammates already.
We are good teammates. The highlight of her season was definitely winning Diamond Ladies doubles.
Yeah.
It was my favorite win.
That was the highest win of the season.
In all fairness, Michaela probably had a collar up too, right? I mean,
It was fabulous. It was fabulous.
Yeah, it was 100%. It
Michaela,
was fabulous.
I know your mother's probably listening in the background, so maybe you can throw her some love. But would you be would you want to play with her during an open maybe, or try, like, if do you think she would actually? She says she's retired about 12 times, but she might come back. I'm certain if she had a chance to play with you. Is that something that you would probably be
I'd
interested
love to
in doing?
play with her. And if she doesn't want to play, I mean, that's fine with me. I'd never want to pressure anybody into playing. But
she's a level 2 now.
Yeah, I was going to say she got her level 2, so I would definitely be okay with picking her as a coach. I have her as a coach for the Roses, so I know if she can make a pull or not. She likes to put me some places in the line. She doesn't favorize me at all. No, just kidding.
No. She definitely doesn't favorize her son. I can tell you that for sure.
No, she doesn't. She likes to put
no way for Marcella.
Oh, Tim, you would know, and Katie, like, what it feels like to be the better sibling. So.
Yeah. Well, my other sibling's playing, so I can't really say that. I just.
Yeah, my sibling is in tour finals this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can say that.
Katie, you won Diamond Ladies doubles.
But I won Diamond Ladies doubles, and so that is the peak of what people should be striving for in their careers.
Well, let's maybe just call it. It's been a long night here, guys. So maybe let's touch base on maybe both your guys' goals for next year. If you have any thank yous or any shout outs you guys want to do.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank Michaela and the kids that made this national and a great experience, and the parents. I met parents from all across the country that now the little ones are sending me messages and everything. So, no, actually, my goal now is I want to get back into coaching. I haven't coached in quite a few years, actually. I run the YBC, but to physically get back out and coach is what I want to start doing again.
Yeah.
So I am going to go get my level 2.
Perfect.
So I don't want to coach the adults. I'll stick to the youth challenge and stuff like that. I know. No, I've watched some of these adult teams, and it's like, no, I'd be sitting in the corner going, "You're on your own. I can't do this anymore."
Yeah, I lost some hair, Maria. I get it. So
yeah, we're not so bad.
I'll put that up there. Michaela, what about you?
I want to thank my mom and Rich. I mean, they come to every single tournament for me. They're always behind me. They know what to say to me, even though sometimes we get into a little bicker. But yeah, this is definitely my #1 fans. So that's cool. And thanks, Maria. I mean, you were there when I needed a high five all the time.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I would just go, hello, boof.
Yeah.
That was it. No.
Goals for next season.
Yeah.
I want to coach youth challenge as well. So
cool.
I got my level 2. Told the boys I would put my name in for them, even though Stacy's gonna fight me for that team. And yeah, just open masters, that stuff.
Yeah.
Diamond ladies, I guess. Shout out for Stacy.
Who is your idols? I'm supposed to ask you. Stacy texted me too.
Oh, well, Stacy wants me to say her. So
obviously,
if I could ever find her TSN tape from 2001, or year 2000 or 2001, if anybody can send it to me, that will make sure that she's my idol. We don't have it, so I had to make a shout out for it. I probably Karen Armstrong, Sandy Anderson. I do like the Winnipeg ladies. Dexter Wiseman, Jeremy Harrison-Chuck. I'm just bugging.
Wow.
Kevin Holdsworth.
Honestly, Holdsworth is actually, I will say, it's a good one.
Kevin drafted me on Monday nights, one of my second year, and honestly, I have not been this have not been the same bowler since. Like, he definitely grew my game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're just very fortunate being so intertwined in such a rich bowling hub, right? Calgary has incredible talent in their leagues all around you, and that's only
like asking me who my idols are, I could probably name about 100. So
yeah,
I look up so many bowlers, and in inner province, inner city, out of all, or from people all the way to like Newfoundland. So
for sure. Yeah. Amazing.
Perfect. Well, we're gonna leave it at that. We gave you a couple extra minutes because we like you. And,
well, Katie does, obviously. Diamond.
Yeah. Well, apparently that's the only reason why you came on. That's the only reason why you came on, apparently.
Yeah, I knew it.
So okay. Well, we're done now. Okay, so.
Well, thank you both for joining us today, and enjoy the off season for as short as it is. But I'm sure we'll see you both.
It's not the off season for me and Tim. We're at the bowling alley every day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there is no off season.
No.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll see you at the tour.
You betcha.
See you there.
All right. Bye.
Bye. We made it through.
We made it through.
That's my longest podcast ever.
Well, I mean, you haven't been on with Jeff Bourne, so you're definitely saving some time on there. Before we leave, want to quickly shout out Bowl Canada, Paul, Kevin, their staff, that everybody came out for doing a great job. Bonnie Ulanes, Martin, Marissa, everybody there who's and all the committee was well done. Very happy to be part of it, and I think next year, I don't know where next year is. I think maybe it's NEBS. I don't know. They haven't said it yet.
I don't know.
But we're definitely looking forward to next year.
Yeah. It's always so fun to have the youth players come on because they just have such a, like, they're not jaded about anything yet. They love it. They had success, and it's just so fun to like see them enjoying the success. I think sometimes in the adults, we forget to kind of reflect on it and go back to, it is cool to win, and it is an accomplishment, and it is something to be celebrated. So it always refreshes my mindset on things.
Absolutely.
Just nice. All right.
Perfect.
We could probably end it here, hey?
Yeah, it's all on you.
All on me. Okay, everybody have a good night, and
Right.
we will see you next week.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, guys.